I imagine everyone here has been or is a teenager. And if so, you probably passed through the terror that is called high school and its final years. I mean, yes, there were some good days. It wasn't all that bad. But the stress and anxiety of those years are something to remember. In that period, it's common that teachers, guidance counselors, parents, and even friends start asking you questions such as, how do you see yourself in 5 years? What profession do you want to pursue? Or even what your goals and dreams are? And those questions tend to weigh on the student's head for a long time. And as time passes by, they see themselves in a rush to find an answer, although they might not have one. During the final years of high school, students are told that in order to enter university, they must have a clear idea of who they are and what they want for their future. But the thing is, to have such certainty in that stage, it isn't that simple. I wish it was, but it's not. Being a teen myself, I can say that I faced that challenge and heard all of those questions. Still, in 6 months of having people ask me what I wanted to pursue as a career, I've given them not one, but 5 different answers. Meaning, in each month, I thought I had finally made up my mind and decided which career I wanted to pursue. But then, the choice didn't fit anymore. Let me show you. Initially, I thought I wanted to work as a computer scientist. But soon, I started questioning that decision. Why did I decide I wanted to become a computer scientist in the first place? I didn't know. So, I changed my mind and decided I wanted to work as an electrical engineer. But unfortunately, that too felt wrong. By the time I claimed I wanted to work as a diplomat, I realized I was completely lost. And well, the list of careers that I've once considered pursuing is huge, so I'm just gonna stop here. The point is, after seeing myself changing my mind up so much, I wondered what was going on. So, I decided to do some research on the matter, and I'm here today to show you guys what I've learned and try and explain this phenomenon. What happens is, in high school, students are put in a situation that forces the subject, meaning the students, to reformulate the concept that he has about himself, and that leads him to abandon his childhood self-image and start projecting himself into the future's adult life. But I mean, look at me. I've been a kid for 17 years. All I've known is how to be a kid. How am I supposed to make such a significant leap? Of course, through the years, I've grown and matured, but still, I don't have an adult identity. Scientists such as Mauricio Noble and Anna Freud even say that in order for a person to achieve personality stabilization, one has to go through a certain degree of pathological behavior, which they consider inherent to this stage of life. In fact, this personality stabilization in this stage especially might be more the exception than the rule. Researchers even say that in order to a young person to grow, mature, and acquire an adult identity, he or she needs to pass through situations of conflict and crisis. But the thing is, when we're there, in the verge of the cliff, and the university of our dreams asks us who we are and what we want to be in the future, we panic and create what I call an emergency dream. What happens is, when we're at this stage, craving for answers and some certainty, we may stick to things that make the least amount of sense, and might choose a profession for shallow reasons. And if that's the case, we could end up making that our final decision. We treat the so-called subtle insights as the truth and begin to create a whole storyline around that dream and sustain it with lies in order for it to make sense and we have a plausible answer to those questions. And even though deep down we know something isn't right, we ignore it, because in our heads, it's better to have any answer than no answer at all. We want to escape the feeling of being lost without having a decision, and we'll do anything to avoid thinking about decisions that are against the position that we originally had. And that's where the problem is, because we start tricking ourselves into thinking that we have a decision, when actually what we have is just a hasty provisional answer made under pressure. But why do we do that? Why do we sustain this provisional answer, this emergency dream? Well, I'll tell you why. Humans have a tendency called confirmation bias, which is a psychological term for the human tendency to only seek out information that supports one position or idea. This makes you be biased towards your original position, because if you only seek out information that supports one position or idea, you will only find information that supports the same idea. For example, a teen goes and watches Grey's Anatomy. Now he thinks he's supposed to become a doctor. He thinks it's destiny, and this is the right profession for him. So he has more plausible arguments. He goes and does some research on the career. But he's so convinced that he has to become a doctor that while doing his research on the matter, he will only go into focus on information that aligns with the decision of becoming a doctor. Step by step, he will trick himself more and more into thinking that he's on the right path. And based on shallow reasons and maybe a fleeting emotion, he makes his decision. While doing my research, I realized that I was tricking myself into thinking that I finally made a decision, when actually all I wanted was the peace of having something to answer when people ask me. Of course, we must consider, teenagers are still developing. Expecting them to have all the answers and to have such certainty is just unrealistic. But unfortunately, that's how the world spins, so we must learn how to adapt to it. Overall, although I focus more on teenagers and high school, this matter doesn't apply only to them. I mean, pressure to make life-changing decisions, grappling with identity and personal goals, and the psychological process involved in decision-making. Well, those are relevant to individuals of various ages and stages in life. For instance, adults may also face moments where they feel societal pressure to make a decision. The important thing is, well, when confronted with a challenge, we must resist the urge to rush toward a quick solution. The pressure in taking immediate choices can lead to less thoughtful and potentially misguided outcomes. Whether you're a teenager grappling with life choices or an adult navigating complex situations, the principle remains the same. Taking the time to carefully evaluate your options is crucial. Taking this deliberate approach helps you avoid the pitfalls of crafting dreams amid this uncertainty. Remember, the quality of your dreams directly impacts your future. So, before committing to a path, make sure to analyze all facets of a situation. And that way, you're going to make a decision that truly aligns with your capabilities and aspirations, rather than one shaped by hasty decisions or maybe so an emergency dream. Thank you all for the attention, and good night.